Although I'm someone who doesn't agree with the lockdown, I think it's completely illogical. At best, I think it serves as a way of allowing the NHS some breathing space and some time to prepare itself, to best prepare itself as it can. But I see it as serving no other function than that, and I don't think it's a logical long-term or even medium-term solution to this coronavirus. I think that death is a part of life, and I feel that this lockdown appears to be some sort of reaction to our inability to accept that we'll die. One new thing of the endless list of things that can kill us has come into existence, and that has sent us all into frenzy. That is something that we are so willingly allowing the quality of life for years to come to decrease. I don't think that we're carefully thinking about the consequences of what we're doing. They're so great that they're not. Who's going to argue that, to me, that risking the NHS for the future generations, which is what we're doing here, is worth saving people who, the majority of cases, are on their way out. No one wishes more than me that they can stay in bat for as long as possible. But at some point we all die. At some point we all die, and I think we need to come to terms with that. It might be your granddad, it might be mine. Did they enjoy their life? That's all I'm interested in, not how long do they live it. I want to go visit mine in a bit, make sure he's all right, from the drive. Give him a quick little wave on my little daily walk. Okay? Because I pass his house on the way. That's what do we want from this life? Do we want to live we all want to live to 200, do we? Locked inside? I think we need to be a bit mature about this. We need to think about what it is we're saving, and you're going to get all the media showing you all the fear because that sells. Yeah? And you can choose to buy into it if you want to buy into it. You can choose to keep clicking on their websites if you want to. Just keep generating them money for their advertising, and to keep buying into their agendas, their political agendas. Because one thing you need to understand, if you don't already, is the man at the top of whoever that media company is someone who's trying to win favour with a politician, or who has a idea of how the country should be. That may be something you agree with, it may not be. But either way, he wants to try and get you, or she wants to try and get you on board with their media, with their, source of information, so that you can try and think like them, so that you can generate money for them, so that they can brainwash you, so they can try and give you their agendas. Don't buy into it. You're going to hear about the odd teenager who's died. Well, guess what? Teenagers do die. Doesn't mean we're all... Just because you found the 0.0001% and you put them in the news doesn't mean that it's any more likely than it was yesterday or the day before. We're not going to go outside because we're worried about that. I live in a country with cancer, heart disease, knife crime. I live in a country that sends young men and women off to fight and die abroad, thousands of miles from home. What are we doing? We're being so hysterical right now. I'd love to convince you to go out there and start talking to people with the rhetoric that I'm using to try and put a bit of pressure on these politicians to say, don't worry, you can come out and have this difficult conversation with us. We're mature enough to hear it. Okay, don't worry about about being hounded for the way you dealt with this, because we understand that it's not ideal. We understand there's going to be a lot of loss of life, and and we're not going to come at you because there's a graph somewhere that says, oh, well, 15,000 people have died, but this graph shows that if you'd done it this way, 10,000 people would have died. Instead, like, that's not life. It's not how things work, you know. What they're not telling you is on that graph, the 5,000 people they would have saved are going to die next year anyway, of the flu or of, heart disease or cancer, or they're going to catch pneumonia, or, they're going to fall over, some of them, and not be strong enough to support themselves with their own hands and bang their head. It's life. It's life. It's no reason to do what we're doing now. It makes no sense at all. Spread that word. Spread that message. Let's try and allow... Because our politicians don't seem comfortable enough to start talking this way. I think they're worried that we can't accept it. So get out there if you agree with me. Start spreading it. Get the public opinion out there, okay, so that they can hear it, so that they get a sense that we're ready as a country to have the difficult conversation that we so desperately need.